It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m., highlighting all Indiana sports, featuring guests from the 260 area code and beyond. Live on YouTube every Thursday at 7 p.m. Just search the 260, also available anywhere you find your podcasts. And remember, when searching, there are no zeros in the 260. It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Hello, everybody, and welcome, sports enthusiasts, to the 260, broadcasting live from the heart of Fort Wayne Sports Epic Center, the Spiece Fieldhouse. Join us on this exhilarating journey as we uncover the stories and perseverance, teamwork, and passion that have unfolded within these walls. Visit SpieceFieldhouse.com to learn more about this extraordinary facility and get ready for an immersive experience that captures the essence of Fort Wayne sports in our community. You, me, us, and them. We are the 260. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, 260 Podcast. I'm joined with my friends here. Every Thursday, we're here live at the Spiece Fieldhouse. Make sure you follow us at the 260 on every single social media platform that's out there. Go ahead and search for it at THE26, the letter O, because there are no zeros in the 260. I'm Dennis Sonar Green, and joining with me today is Dave the Mayor Rickert. Also, we have Matt and Abby Brandenberger here to talk about pickleball. Brandenberger. I keep putting that extra letters in there. I apologize.
It's a long name.
I'm a professional. I should be able to do this. But thank you both very much for being on with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So you guys have a show about pickleball. So we decided to bring on the pickleball experts. I mean, that's it. You guys are the subject matter experts of pickleball.
I don't know about that, but
well, at least here in the area. Right. I mean,
sure.
who else can you name three people that also doing it, right? You can't.
I can't.
Exactly. You're the top.
Right.
The only person I knew about pickleball was Matt Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And miraculously, they were together at a tournament down in Columbus, Indiana, and here we are. We made a phone call. It was probably a half an hour phone call, and me and Joe's head were just blown away with all the info they give us.
This sport is growing.
Yeah.
It's growing.
and that's why we started our podcast. So like you were mentioning,
Right.
we have our own podcast called One More Game, and we do that weekly. You can search for that anywhere you find your podcasts. And we love this. So it's fun to kind of be on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Getting to to be on getting to be interviewed. So
were you guys talking about pickleball before you started a podcast? Were you those people that would go to the courts and just talk everybody's ear off about the history?
And not just the courts.
No, we would go. So we would we have a lunch date. We would talk about pickleball the entire time.
Okay.
It's kind of embarrassing, really, but
drives our kids nuts.
Oh my goodness.
Are they players?
They like to dink around with us. They don't play competitively at all. But they range in ages from 14 down to 7. And the couple of them, our 8-year-old has a lot of potential. She's going to be an athlete.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them into it kind of slowly, but they're not nearly as addicted as mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's great. Are there professional dinkers out there? I heard you use the word dink.
Yeah.
Are there professional dinkers out there? Like there's tournaments, prize money,
there's
all
a
of
big
that?
time.
Oh yeah.
This is
So
we had that conversation the following week, I'm flipping around the TV and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
It's on TV.
Wow.
And they take it serious.
Yeah. I think that was the weekend that they debuted it on ESPN.
Yeah.
And that was
Might be
big
right.
news.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And now they're going
really
to
exciting.
Amazon, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just saw that yesterday.
Yes.
Well, Amazon's putting on a tournament?
No, they're taking they're going to be broadcasting all the pickleball pro tournaments.
Mhm.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
See, I'm a disc golf player, so
Yeah.
we just got our surge a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And this, I just cannot go anywhere without people talking about pickleball.
Yeah.
It's
very
is it
similar.
Is it that addictive? Is it because I haven't
gosh.
played?
Yeah.
Is it that addictive for it?
I would say emphatically yes. We're only 3 years in, but I think there's a lot of
3 years in, and you guys are like the top dogs
I mean,
in town.
Yeah, here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
King and queen of pickleball
right.
here.
You're gonna tick some people off if they're listening to this. So that was not out of my mouth, but
Because one of them on his back.
right. But yeah, we play a lot. We play at a high level. But yeah, in terms of disc golf, there has been a huge surge in it. Pickleball is, I don't know where they get these numbers from, but they do say it is the fastest growing sport in the United States. And I believe it. I mean, there's courts popping all up around town.
That's the thing. Here at Spiece, they got 8 courts. 6 courts ready to go.
Yeah.
That you can use anytime you need.
And they've got equipment here too.
Yeah, they got the nets.
Yeah.
All you got to do is bring your own paddles.
Yeah, what is that all you need for most courts? You just bring your own paddles, or is there enough places out there that they'll actually rent them to you?
Yeah, and I would say that's one of the most attractive things about the sport.
Mhm.
I was a golfer, played a lot of golf. Golf's expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, you start like playing golf, you want to get a new set of clubs, you're spending at least $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
New drivers now are like 500 plus. So pickleball was attractive to me, having 5 kids, not having a ton of money, because it's essentially free. You're right. You get a paddle. Now paddles are going up. A nice paddle's a couple $100.
And your paddle is getting more expensive every time you buy one.
And I like to try new things. So I say
It's a better paddle.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
Makes it better, right?
Right.
Makes him the king.
But that's the whole racket. Is once some catches on,
Right.
there goes the price.
And then he's like,
Right.
"Oh, I need new shoes now.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine are get a little worn out."
I will say that. Yeah.
how many pairs of shoes do you go through a year?
My.
You're every 3 months.
A lot. Yeah.
Wow.
I figured out, actually, my buddy Matt Carpenter was the one that kind of turned me on to how you can work the system to take advantage of the 6-month warranty that shoe companies will give for their
there
outsole
you go.
warranty.
Smart
And so,
too. See?
Yeah. So I mean, I would say on average, I would say 4 pairs of shoes in
But
a year.
Wow.
is
I
fair.
would say he's also, if you would watch Matt play pickleball, he's everywhere, all over the court. So,
Okay.
right.
Right.
I mean, like, if he's not bleeding somewhere, he hasn't really played pickleball.
My knees are full of scabs.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
true.
Now,
So-
is it different like courts? Is it different to play on wood versus maybe the basketball, the outdoor side? Because I know at least you guys change the ball if you're playing
Yeah.
indoors versus outdoors.
Yeah.
Right.
And now does the turf change the ball or anything else?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. So at Spiece, and then there's, McMillan and Sport One. Those are all that basketball court type surface, which is fine. And you use the indoor ball there. But we would all prefer, I'd say, as you get more into pickleball, you get a little snobbier.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
And
The clay court.
You want
and-
the tennis
okay.
surface and you want the outdoor the outdoor ball.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have wondered, like in the comparisons to tennis, if because we've never played on clay or like a grass surface. It is just the hard.
Well, yeah, it's not going to bounce, I doubt.
No,
but that is by far the preferred surface
is.
to play on.
In terms of anticipating the bounce, they don't slide like at basketball court. It's going to slide a little bit. That's just not fun when the ball's sliding everywhere. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so the other thing I'd like to ask is just a little bit of the terminology, because there's some fun jargon in pickleball.
Yeah.
First off, the name, obviously, pickleball.
Right.
Like, you're not playing with a pickle. You are playing with a ball. So where did the pickle come from? Is it from the kitchen? Are you taking the pickle from the kitchen and then it goes out? Like, I'm just all over the place with this.
So there's a whole bunch of different theories of where the name came from. The family that invented it was out in Washington. I don't know my history as well as I should, but Bainbridge, is that?
Bainbridge Island, Washington.
There you go. You did the research. Good job. And he was like a state senator, and they were bored, a family, little vacation to their town.
You got it down so far.
Yeah. And so they had a badminton net. So the dimensions of a pickleball court are the same as badminton.
Okay.
But the net obviously is a lot lower. So the net is about the same size as a tennis net. It's just 2 inches lower. So
that's it.
Yeah. 2 inches is all.
Wow.
So, so they were messing around. They tried to invent a new game on a rainy day. And I don't know what a pickle boat is, but some people say that the name came because they used parts from a pickle boat. And that's where the name came from.
Some people say the dog. Yeah, there was the dog Pickle.
They did have a dog named Pickle or Pickles.
Well,
but
according to what we found,
what'd you find?
That they were just, like you said, on a family vacation, trying to get everybody involved. They was using ping pong paddles, badminton paddles, and then they started making up the whole rule system.
Yeah.
Just as a family.
Yeah, you can take a tour. You can go see the house.
Kind of like the Mecca. No,
people go visit the house.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Of all the paddles,
have you been?
No, not yet.
Is that a big vacation for you guys?
Saving up.
I think there's a few more places we'd rather go to play pickleball than rather just.
Exactly. Of all the paddles, ping pong and pickle or otherwise, I think the pickleball paddle is the one that would actually be the best paddle.
Show us one.
I mean, because it's big. And so now, is it the same kind of concept with table tennis or ping pong, where you're still trying to maybe put a top spin or any of that?
What I've watched on
going across
some of these tournaments, there's a lot of turning of the wrist to get the spin going.
Yeah.
And is that why you changed the ball versus indoor and outdoor?
Exactly. And indoor ball is a little softer and can manipulate well. So people who
won't break anything.
And you can manipulate it more, almost to an unfair advantage. So if you're playing with a soft ball like that, you can spin the heck out of it.
Show us a ball.
Yeah.
You got a ball?
Do you have a ball back there? But in terms of the terminology, though, like, you were asking about that, and I would say like the kitchen is one of the words that we talk about,
and that's like the no man's land, right?
Yes,
nobody's supposed to be playing.
What separates it from tennis is that 7 feet between the net and where you have to stand, that you cannot volley. The correct term for it is like the non-volley zone. Is that area, the kitchen, and so you have to stay behind there. You have to let the ball bounce before you can step in there before. You just can't volley the ball out of the kitchen area. And then dinking, of course, is another term we talk about a lot. And that just means a soft shot that you're kind of hitting back and forth over the net. That bounces. And so
it's not a volley.
Right.
Okay.
It is it's at its core, it's more of a touch game, a softer game. Again, if you watch
I don't
the
think I be hit with this
higher level, it stings.
Because that's kind of what badminton is.
I'm pushing pretty good on this.
Yeah.
I've had a black eye.
Yeah.
So you have 8-1.
Oh yeah.
So that's part of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to back to that softer game, I mean, badminton is a softer game. Has anybody tried to spike a badminton bird? Come on, or
shuttlecock. Yeah.
Right.
We used to do that in high school a lot.
I mean,
I do love that.
Halfway through the arc, it just stops. And starts going. Does because of the whiffles in it? Does the pickleball do the same thing?
I mean, you can generate a lot of action on it. For sure.
It's a stinger if it hurts. I mean, if you get hit.
Yeah, if you get hit by it,
it's called a tattoo.
It's going to leave a mark.
And you show people your pickleball tattoo, and it's usually, you can even see the holes sometimes. Yeah,
and in that way, it can be. Abby said she's taken one off her face as well. eyewear is really highly suggested. And we've started, I kind of was like, I've got fast enough hands. I don't need to worry about it. But it's usually your partner who might
It like deflects
miss
off
a ball.
your partner's paddle into your eye.
And we had a friend recently who had to go to the eye surgeon.
Oh, boy.
And he was lucky. And we hear horror stories online all the time about people losing a retina or getting a detached retina. So we've started to wear eye protection as well. And I would suggest anybody that plays, that's a smart thing to do for sure.
And on your
Don't be cool.
Yeah, I look like a nerd, but I don't care. Rather have both my eyes.
Well, to take it from the unhealthy to the healthier side, on your podcast, One More Game, you guys are starting to interview people who have essentially their lives have changed because of pickleball.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure you're the guy who's all over the court, but it doesn't seem like as high of an impact sport for some things. And even listening to some of your episodes, it's that quick do something and then you get a beat to rest and then do something and come back.
Yeah. I mean, so studies would show you that interval training is going to be the best way to get in shape.
Okay.
You know, whenever I've had an injury or, you know, my friends have had injuries, I've recommended you don't go run 4 miles just today. You run a minute and walk a minute because that is actually better for your heart condition than steady state cardio. And so pickleball is a sprint and then a stay and then a sprint. So it is even, you know, evidence-based going to be better for your muscles and your heart to get in shape.
A cousin of mine, he just recently started, and he told me, he started on vacation down in Florida, and he said, you know, he played tennis in high school, still loved tennis. He's 64. He goes, I can't play tennis no more.
Right.
He goes, this is really good.
Yeah. It gets people moving who may otherwise not get moving. And I ran and I got bored of running. I'd run for 30 years and I was like, this is so boring and lonely. And so now I can, you know, I couldn't go run 6 miles today, but I'm still in decent shape because I play pickleball and I'm with my friends. In fact, we have a really good episode about the addictive qualities of pickleball. It's called The Anatomy of an Addiction. And it goes through why pickleball is addictive. It goes through the reasons that dopamine and the serotonin really hit your brain and why it's so good for you.
That's really, really neat.
And I would add to that it doesn't matter like your skill level. It really is a game that can be played by anybody at any skill level. So you can play at the high intensity, you know, running all around the court like I do. But there's also, you know, 80-year-old people that are there just kind of hitting the ball back and forth. And it's just a slower paced game. So
that's what we was originally talking about at Spiece.
Yeah.
Get the retirement community.
Yeah.
Come in here early morning.
Yep.
Just if you got to walk and do it.
Yeah. Any movement is good. You know, bodies in motion, stay in motion, bodies at rest, stay at rest. And you can have some pretty significant sedentary injuries.
Absolutely.
And so just if you can lubricate your joints and get your muscles going, you're going to be healthier. You're going to have a better immune system. Your brain's going to work better.
Yep. Before I start playing pickleball, is there something that I should prepare my body for? Like if I have maybe a bad knee, should I look at maybe getting a knee brace, or maybe if I've got a bad elbow or something? Is there any way, if I've already got maybe some of these ailments, I'm trying to kind of use pickleball to get through or try to get more movement? Is there anything I should be checking out health wise before I start playing?
Yeah. I mean, I actually don't think so. I tend to, so we actually have an injury prevention episode. If you would go look at that. I tend
One more game, by the way. One more game.
I tend to be on the side of movement. So if your elbow hurts, I think you should keep moving it. Now, if you go to pickleball and you're 2 weeks in and you're like, okay, now it's getting painful, then I do recommend going to a therapist, going to your doctor. You know, sometimes ibuprofen just works.
Fair enough.
But for the most part, I am an advocate of moving. Moving helps pain.
Yep.
So.
And Abby was in her former life a physical therapist assistant, so she kind of had.
So now that's the mice, what they call mice now, right? Movement, ice.
So it's different now.
Is it rice?
It's meat.
Meat.
Oh. Thank you for saying that. It is not rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation. It is meat. Let's see if I can remember it. Movement, exercise, analgesics, and treatment.
Say that again.
What was the A?
Analgesics is ibuprofen. They had to make a word, so they came up with
So they came up with
so it's
meat.
movement.
So when did this change?
So
Last 2 years?
I mean, yeah, I'd say in the last few years, yeah.
Yeah, because my son had a major injury in high school,
Mhm.
and it was didn't it used to be rice, then they changed it to mice.
Right. That it was pressure. I can't remember what the P
Compression.
is.
Compression.
P. What would be the P? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Movement, ice, compression. I forget the E.
Yeah. Elevation.
One more thing though, I would add to the whole, like if you're just starting out playing, we do a lot of clinics and we do a lot of instruction. And unfortunately, I've seen this happen more than once where somebody comes out who hasn't done much physical exercise in maybe even years, and they'll pull a calf muscle or they'll pop.
Yeah, we did see that. I did tear my ACL playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So to be fair, Abby would be a huge proponent of this, of taking the time to stretch out a little bit, to warm up, to take even just a quick lap around the court. Don't go out cold and just try to start playing.
Achilles tendon, is that a big one?
So
I've seen
in my past life, I played a ton of basketball and I did both ACLs and an Achilles.
Oh,
and so
man.
my fear is that I'll do my other Achilles at some point. And yeah, I mean, it could happen at any time because there's a
Achilles
lot.
was probably worse than your ACL, wasn't it?
I've said I would do my ACL 5 times over to one
The
Achilles.
recovery of an Achilles, though, to be fair, is very different than when you had it. It's
been 12 years since I
right.
did
When
mine.
Matt had it, it was 8 weeks non-weight bearing. I think it's only a couple weeks non-weight bearing now, and you get immediately into a boot. So
I just remember I was playing in a pickup basketball game when we used to play out at Leo, and we just bring the ball up the court, and there was kids playing around. Our kids were playing around, and we just heard this bang.
Yeah, like a gunshot.
Yeah, and the guy went down, and we're both bringing the ball up the court, and it was like a gunshot, and we're looking around like these kids did something.
Yeah,
and then when we look down, he's down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. But I would say, I know somebody who was walking up the stairs and his ruptured.
Okay.
So I will go on record as saying, you should stay active.
Yeah.
I can see your fear though, Matt.
Oh,
There's a risk.
it's real because in pickleball, there's a ton of going up and then retreating. And that's like where I feel like it's
that explosive push off where your Achilles can pop.
So I would like to think I'm in a little better shape though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some weeks better than others.
Yeah.
Some months better than others.
But it's a risk you're willing to take because life is risky.
Yep.
There you go.
And you just live your life.
Keep playing.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's true. Well, we're going to keep talking with Matt and Abby Brandenberger.
Brandenberger.
Brandon. Oh my goodness. I just cannot get it today. Brandon. It's written in front of me right here. At least I can get the One More Game podcast correctly.
That's what's
and
important.
you can find that just like our podcast on any of the fantastic places you get your podcast. You're already on the internet. Go ahead and check those 2 places out. Here at the 260, we are live, by the way, every Thursday night at 7 here at the fantabulous Spiece Fieldhouse, SpieceFitness.com. We like to thank them every week for inviting us over here to speak with them. We're going to take a quick break just to kind of put a pause in it. But when we come back, I want to talk about how you guys got started. What's the culture around it? How did you bring in your family into this? So until we come back, you, me, us, and them, we are the 260.
It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m., highlighting all Indiana sports, featuring guests from the 260 area code and beyond. Live on YouTube every Thursday at 7 p.m. Just search the 260. Also available anywhere you find your podcasts. And remember, when searching, there are no zeros in the 260. It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m.
And welcome back to the 260 Podcast that brings you up close and personal with the sports professionals who call Fort Wayne home. Here today on the 260, we have a couple of professionals playing pickleball and a couple of professionals that punch people. Stay tuned to the 260. You, me, us, and them. We are the 260. See, normally I do the introduction and I don't do the hosting side of it, so I got to put two hats on today.
You're doing a great job.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Except for the name.
Exactly.
What's their name?
Brandenberger.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Matt and Abby Brandenbergers, third and fourth time is the charm. They are here to talk about pickleball. They are experts, and how do I know they're experts? They have a podcast called One More Game, and if you're not an expert, why do you have a podcast? So we were talking
very
about,
informative right off the bat.
There you go.
I watched the wind. I wouldn't even thought about it, number one, because I've never done it, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But it was pretty educational real quick.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because you two are also instructors as well, right?
Yeah. So our podcast too, we talk a lot about our family. We have 5 daughters. 3 of our daughters are adopted. So we've had kind of,
you are definitely very busy.
we're very busy. We try to fit pickleball in as much as we can. So we have some people who listen to our podcast because they know our family, or it's been kind of fun. We've gotten even some listener feedback from people who didn't know our family before and say, "Oh, I love hearing about your family." But we definitely have some extended family who listen to that part and they're like, "I could care less about pickleball," and then they turn us off. Or other people that say, I could do without you talking about your family, but I love the pickleball part.
Well, you had me hooked right away on the chocolate covered strawberries. So I was,
Yeah.
how-
Oh my word, that
were
was.
they good?
They were delicious.
Yeah.
Yes, but that was a whole evening. It was great.
Yeah.
And is that where your guys' pickleball community, I guess, started from, in that seed of family first, and then you started playing with more people out on the courts? Or did you guys, were you introduced from somebody outside the family and then brought pickleball?
Yeah. So I was kind of the one that first got into it.
We've named
Yeah,
us the
go ahead.
Generation C.
Yeah, Generation
Right?
C for COVID,
For COVID.
because it was really born out of COVID. So, like I said earlier, I was a basketball player. I was a golfer. I need, physical activity and competition in my life. That's just how I'm built. So,
Well, before the show, I was hitting Abby a little bit about her not liking golf.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was talking about me and Charlene, how we got to get last 6-7 years started golfing.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Why didn't we do that?" And he's like, "No, no."
it wouldn't have worked.
No, disc golf. You can work
Yeah.
on your backhand and your forehand.
There you go.
With it.
Yeah, I have played disc golf a couple times and do enjoy it. But
What I was getting at, he don't have the time.
I'm a competitor. So,
There you go.
so during COVID, then I had a buddy who we would play singles, and it's kind of funny because I don't really play singles pickleball anymore, but we would go out there messing around.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to jump in here. You were playing racquetball for a while, and
Right.
when they shut everything down, you're
Yes.
like, we
Yeah.
have to find something to do.
Yeah, it was kind of our pre-spring break, like getting ready, physical activity was racquetball. And when we couldn't play racquetball, it became pickleball. But we didn't really know what we were doing. But we'd go out and we'd beat up on each other. We'd have these epic matches. And it happened. My day job is I'm in education, and I do technology. So I was teaching this technology class, and a guy in my technology class in this assignment that I had them do said something about pickleball. And I was like, my ears perked up, and I was like, oh, I've been playing pickleball. Hadn't been taking it real seriously. He's like, well, I sell paddles if you want to, if you ever want to take your game to the next level. So I was like, sure, I'll get a paddle.
Of course, that's what the paddle salesman would say.
Right.
You want to take your game to the next level?
Exactly.
Look at these amazing paddles.
What were you using? Were you using wooden paddles?
I was literally using one from Walmart that had that was made of wood in it. Yeah. As soon as I hit like a decent pickleball paddle, it was like, oh, it actually goes where I want it to.
That's hilarious.
This is amazing.
I didn't know what you were using.
Well, the
That's
wood
funny.
paddle, it'd really pop off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. It was cheap wood, evidently. It sucked.
They're so handle heavy.
Right.
You can't really control it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
And even then, you want more of a longer point of contact as well, so you can get more of a spin on it.
Yeah.
So the longer the ball's compressed up against the paddle, the more you can actually put that friction.
Ooh,
spin
you are
on it.
getting technical.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
Physics, they're fantastic.
I like that I listened to a podcast, The Physics of Pickleball. You would like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
send that to you.
I'm jumping in. I'm
Yeah.
on the bandwagon.
You would like that.
Yeah. So meeting him, then he invited me out. Kind of just, I felt like it was just kind of a throwaway invitation, but I took him up on it to play with his like high level group, and that's Ryan Kearns. I'm telling you guys about him. One of the best players in the area, and so I played with their high level group, and evidently I showed enough potential that
Tenacity, probably.
yeah, probably more. They could tell like that I wanted to learn because I was asking tons of questions, and I started playing more and more with them, and I improved, tremendously even in that first month or two, because I just ate up everything. It was brand new to me, and I love learning new things. And Abby immediately saw that. And
so at this time they had sent all the kids home from school, right? So I'm homeschooling 5 children, and I'm going to lose my mind.
You needed something quick.
I might have lost my mind. I don't know. And so it was, school was out. And then later that summer, that's when I said, you're going to need to teach this sport to me.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of kid time.
Yeah.
I need some adult time.
And so she jumped in, and so it kind of became both of us. And there was a period of time, probably for the first year or so, that our games were not compatible, really.
He wouldn't play with me.
Again, my competitive
Golf.
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah. Golf. He says
Get
golf.
better already.
Yeah.
Go out.
Right.
I was like, I'll go find my own game.
Yeah. And so she wasn't playing in like the higher groups that I wanted to play in. So it was
I wasn't invited.
yeah, there's a little bit of tension there
It's okay.
for a little
It's
bit.
okay. Just say it how it is.
Right. But she, to her credit, really improved a ton, and I'd put her right up at the top of all the women in the area. And so we play together a lot in mix. There's still a time. I mean, the guys like to get together and play. And so another great thing about pickleball, though, is there's no other sport where men and women can compete in. And trust me, I'm about the most competitive person you'll ever meet. But when you play pickup basketball, like you mentioned,
You don't want a girl there.
listen, a girl comes out, and I'm sorry, I'm not a sexist, but it's just awkward.
It's facts.
How do I? Yeah.
I don't even want to be the girl on the basketball court.
Right.
Like having to guard, like who guards the girl?
Right.
Mhm.
Where do I touch her? How do I not get in trouble?
Your hand up, play
Right,
the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
Where do I throw the elbow?
Right. Exactly. Right. It's a physical game. So that's a great thing about pickleball, though. You can go out. Abby and I can grab another guy and gal and go out and play great competitive games of pickleball, where other sports just don't have that. So
Is there a stereotypical pickleball player? Like everybody, all the sports have
Oh, yeah.
that stereotypical. Describe to me the stereotypical pickleball player.
yeah, there's probably several. I mean,
Well, I
doesn't
mean, but
Dude
it's-
Perfect do some of these
Yeah.
there's tons of stereotypes, but the two main ones you would say are
Well,
bangers and dinkers. I'd say.
okay. Well, I was gonna say
You were going somewhere else.
I was going with like old men.
Okay.
Okay.
So the bocce ball crowd is
Yeah.
starting to move forward.
Yeah. And
It's funny you say that. If I go to lunch on the northwest quadrant, there'll be a group of about 6 to 7 men and women, and they go, obviously just got done with pickleball, and then they're going to have lunch together.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
And all they talk about, because I see them at Lee's or wherever, all they're talking about is their match.
I can't wait for that to be my life.
Well, that is the funniest part. Abby and I, after we get done playing for maybe even 3 hours at
We
a
have
time,
to talk about it
we
then.
have to talk about it then. And I'm sure our kids are like, "You just got home, like talk to us." And we're like, "I got to recount this match, go over what we did well."
So you guys have already planned that part of your retirement. That's already,
Oh.
that's already set
Yeah.
together.
He's already got like this RV in his head.
There you go.
We're going to travel and play nationwide pickleball tournaments. I'm just hoping I'm alive.
Yeah, we've got some friends that we've met actually kind of through the podcast.
Well, Matt-
knew them
Matt
before.
Carpenter,
Yeah.
he been to Florida.
Oh yeah.
Is it been to California also?
Yes,
Yep.
he travels
Yep.
with us.
Yeah, we went to California together. We've been all over. But my friends we had on the podcast, Marcus Woodhouse, he's got an incredible story. He has Parkinson's and has battled through that. But they have like a
Like a van, like an airport van, kind of.
yeah, it's like that they've like remodeled. They've done one of those. They gutted it and they put
They have like
basically
hardwood floors.
they
That
can live out of
Wow.
it. Like that's my dream. Like I'm super jealous that I've still got 10,
Just-
15 years.
You got a long way to go, Matt. A long way.
He's a 7-year-old. So
Okay.
it'll be a while.
So 11 years.
Yep.
So she
Yep.
graduated.
Me too. I told the boss lady every time we have a new kid, you reset that 18-year clock. Like,
Right.
what are we doing here? Like, when are we going to be done?
Right. Right.
And you guys think it's 18. It's not.
Uh,
It's not over 18.
But they at least, it
We're
can at least
naive.
feed themselves, maybe house
For sure.
themselves at a certain
Yeah, in
point.
theory. Yeah.
I mean, they can do that at 12. So
Does your family get involved with some of your tournaments? Do you use some of them just for practice? You're just like, hey, go stand out there with a paddle and I'll hit stuff at you.
yeah, I
Or-
think my favorite memory of, I went to nationals and actually won nationals, and I would not even put that at the top of my list, but it was when I went with Abby and we took our 5 girls just this last December down to
Pictona.
Pictona in Dayton or Daytona
Or
Beach
Daytona,
area. And we stayed at the crappiest Airbnb you can imagine. But the girls were there and they loved it. And they were in between games, they were hitting with us and they did such a great job. It was a fun
It was
memory.
so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids had a great time.
So, Sonar, you remember in the first segment
Mm.
when I was introducing him? He is really, really good.
That's what I've heard.
Now, Abby,
He don't like to talk about it, but he is really, really good.
Say it.
oh, you're not going to. Okay. She usually likes to point out the level that I won nationals at was a little lower.
3-5, guys. 3-5.
But that's what you do. And it was
He
when I,
won.
yeah,
Yeah, you got you get to
You
walk
won.
away with
Yeah.
the
He's the
title.
best
though.
in the
There you go.
nation.
right.
There
At,
you go.
at 3.
At 3-5.
Well, hey,
She's,
She likes to give it to me a little bit.
You think?
that asterisk maybe shows up every once in a while.
Right,
So that's
right,
okay.
right.
You still got the title, though.
Right.
Right.
You-
National
Absolutely.
champion.
Absolutely. The banner still hangs in our basement. No, it really doesn't.
Now, on your guys' podcast, you guys do a this or that.
Ooh,
Here on our podcast, we like to do something called the rapid fire,
nice.
where we ask you just quick questions. Hey, what do you, if you want to elaborate and explain yourself a little bit, you're more than welcome to. But for the most part, they're just quick stuff about what you guys are doing right now in your life. And first off, I want to thank you both for being here with us. It's been a fantastic conversation. I've learned a whole bunch more.
watch
I
their
probably
podcast.
doubled my
If
information.
you're interested in getting into pickleball,
Uh-huh.
watch their podcast.
That's fantastic. Can we watch it, or is it just on that? Fantastic.
It's on YouTube.
We do put it on YouTube as well. So
That's great.
yeah, we don't have quite the production quality you guys have. This
Oh,
has
wow.
been a lot of fun. So we appreciate you having us. on.
Yeah.
Well, you're more than welcome to come
Well,
back anytime.
And
Awesome.
one of the biggest reasons come wintertime, or even, if you want to get out early morning, we want to promote Spiece.
Absolutely.
Make sure people
Oh,
know
yeah.
that you got 6 courts here.
talking
Nets
back
are ready to go.
talking back to that physics and
Mhm.
everything like that.
Mhm.
Having an indoor facility, having something that's climate controlled,
Yep.
having something that's dedicated. That what happens if you break your paddle? I got to go home. Or I got to go to the store. Right here at Spiece, you can rent one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's great about that climate control is now you can, when you play, you know what your base is, your
Yep.
baseline. Oh, did I miss that because I was hot? Did I miss it because it was breezy?
Right.
You're able to kind of build your foundation in a
This
climate
sport's
controlled
gotten
style.
Yes.
so big,
Yeah.
and we know the decline of the mall
Mhm.
across the United States. These big corner stores,
Yeah.
they're going to put pickleball courts in.
Yep.
Yep.
It hasn't happened here yet, but it will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that
I-
ball,
Are you referencing that some article I saw, like a Bed Bath and Beyond and
Yep.
some Old Navies?
Yep.
I think that's awesome.
Well, don't wait for those to get built. Come right here
Yeah.
to Spiece.
There you
Also
go.
check out spicefitness.com and you'll be able to see when the pickleball courts are available and some of the other great things that we're promoting here at Spiece. We'll get to Mr. Hernandez later for a fight that's coming up. But here's your first rapid fire question.
All right.
What are you guys watching on Netflix right now?
Well, so I'm a brand new realtor.
Mm.
And I just, out of pure curiosity, I pulled up Buying Beverly Hills
Okay.
because the owner of the agency plays pickleball,
Oh,
and he has
okay.
a court in his
I
backyard.
think my wife watches that show.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Funny.
fascinating. I feel like I've even learned something. So
Okay.
For me,
Yeah.
I have been so busy. I have not streamed a show in months, but there's one at the top of my list, and I might even start it tonight, is called Jury Duty.
oh
That's
yeah,
it's phenomenal.
Is it? Okay.
It's on Amazon, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
same concept.
What is
Yeah.
that about?
So it's a reality show where everybody is an actor or an actress except for one guy, and they're pretending that he got pulled for jury duty.
we need to
It's-
watch it together.
It's
Don't
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's a-
I've heard
it's a
great
good
things about it, and I love the concept. There
Mm.
was a show we watched. What was that?
Joe Schmo,
Joe Schmo. It was kind of the same concept, not around jury duty, but
one. Mm.
a while
like a
back.
Survivor kind of thing.
Right, but just like one guy who didn't know about
What? Yeah,
what was going on.
It was so
anyway,
fun.
Yeah, that's-
Exactly.
Well, we'll see how good of a marriage they have.
yeah.
What is your favorite restaurant in the fort?
Oof, good question.
What? Bravos Burgers.
Mm.
Are they
Abby's-
still open?
yeah, I think so.
Because I know they went. Didn't they have a problem for a little bit?
I think
But
so. I
Brava's
think they're back.
Burgers.
Yeah,
Oh.
Abby's always good for a burger, which is one thing I love about her because I'll always eat a burger as well. But man,
Very romantic.
Yeah.
my favorite. And I don't
Don't you
know.
like the pineapple? At Nawa, the pineapple.
I do like Nawa. Anything down on the landing.
Mhm.
I love all.
What
those
is your
restaurants.
favorite Mexican?
Ooh, good one.
Salsa grill.
I like Azteca because I
There you
love
go.
their chips and salsa.
Was that the right answer?
Was that
Correct
four,
answer.
four
Yeah.
people now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
4 out of 11. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Okay, 4 out of 11. Okay. What do you get? Kickbacks? What are you doing over here? So, so pickleball is something that you guys enjoy. What do you do to recharge to go back out to play
Mhm.
pickleball? Because obviously pickleball is number one.
Mhm.
You got to recharge to get back to it.
Mhm.
What do you guys do to recoup?
I like to read. I read a fair amount.
I'd probably say board games. I
Okay.
love
Not
Monopoly.
with me.
Monopoly.
more like the Euro style board games. So there's a card game I play called Dominion. I'll play that online a fair amount. And then I've got a couple friends and my brother-in-law who's super into like really crazy ones. So when I have time, I like to play strategy. It kind of speaks to pickleball, has a lot of strategy into it. Competitiveness. I'm a competitive junkie.
This next question is going to be hard to beat last week's second guest.
Oh,
I mean, it was a deep one. But if you could come back, current or go back in time, what person would you like to meet?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Really? Solid
Yes.
answer.
Another pickleball enthusiast.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
I'm the worst at these kind of questions. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, I was going to say Jesus.
That's
Do I win?
Exactly what they said last
Yeah.
week.
Dave Gosser said that last week.
Yeah.
I mean, my Lord and Savior. I think
There you
that'd
go.
probably be a pretty good person
Right
to
up
meet.
there at the
Right.
top of the list.
Right.
But we're gonna meet him someday.
Right. So
So Teddy Roosevelt.
you don't think you're gonna meet Teddy?
Abby, why Teddy?
I've read several books about him, and I love his come from. He was such a sick, miserly little kid,
Yep.
And then he turned his own life around. And I love that he just did that on his own. As like a 7-year-old, he decided to
take
charge of his life. And of course I walk softly and carry a big stick.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that's just really smart.
That's your pickleball motto, isn't it?
Carry a big stick.
Yeah.
Big stick.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you both for being on with us today. I hope you had some fun and
Had a great time.
We hope you guys come back. I have learned a lot about pickleball from you guys.
Yeah.
You
And
can play.
now
sometime.
I've got to. Now, I mean, what are we doing tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, there's courts down there.
Yep, absolutely. The courts here at Spiece. Don't forget that you can always listen to Matt and Abby Brandenberger.
Third time.
He's on fire.
Good job.
He's on
That's it,
fire now.
right?
He's got it.
One More Game is their podcast. You can find it on YouTube. We will also link their podcast down in the description for what you guys are watching right now. And while you're there, you're here on the internet anyway. You might as well pull up another tab. You might as well go follow and like and everything else. What are your guys' social medias?
Or Hoosier Pickleball on TikTok,
Okay.
on Facebook. I actually think it's Hoosier Pickleball on YouTube as well.
Okay.
It's not One More Game. I know that's confusing.
That's okay.
But
The
it's Hoosier
titles
Pickleball.
and
Yeah.
everything else, but you got right there here in the
You need to get on
267.
Twitter.
Yeah,
You're right.
You're on personally, Matt.
I am. Yeah, I don't.
But you don't
use it.
post anything on pickleball.
Yeah, not much. I should probably start my
Yeah.
Twitter pickleball.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
That's it. If you want subject matter experts about pickleball, these two are it, especially in the Fort Wayne area. And they are here to show up at a court near you and probably whoop your bum. Thank you everybody for being here. Of course, thanks Spiece Fieldhouse. Always you can find them at spicefitness.com. When we come back, who do we have next there, Dave?
Mr. David Hernandez.
Oh.
Promoting a big kickboxing fight tonight. Saturday night.
Saturday night, right here at Spiece, and right here at Spiece. Coming right back, we'll have David Hernandez. You, me, us, and them. We are the 260.
It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m., highlighting all Indiana sports, featuring guests from the 260 area code and beyond. Live on YouTube every Thursday at 7 p.m. Just search the 260. Also available anywhere you find your podcasts. And remember, when searching, there are no zeros in the 260. It's the 260 Podcast, live from Spiece Fieldhouse every Thursday at 7 p.m.
And we're back on the 260 where sports magic continues. Stay tuned as we dive back into captivating interviews with sports professionals who have left an incredible mark on the Fort Wayne athletic legacy. Get ready to be inspired. You, me, us, and them. We are the 260.
Well, good to have David and Sudn Impact back. We have a new guest, Miguel,
Yes, my name is Miguel.
and your son, correct?
I'm not that old. He's my brother. Yeah.
Really?
Right. No. I'm his son.
I thought so. We had conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wanted to have you back on tonight, talk about the big event, see how many fights you got. What are you up to?
We're right around that 18, 17, 19, 18, 17, people last week, you get people pulling out, they get scared, whatever, but we just
is that the reason they're scared?
Most of the time, that's what it is. So
they talk a big game beforehand.
Right, they talk a big game. They say, "Oh man, I want to do this." I'm ready for this. And then the week comes to that week, and they're like, "Man, I haven't trained enough. Oh man, I can't cut weight. My mom's sick, and I got to go to the hospital."
Yeah,
that's what it is. But we did have one.
They don't want to end up in the hospital,
right? We did end up having one kid pull out. Just found out today. Yeah, he officially did twist his ankle. It was going to be our kids fight. We had one kid fight. So now we don't have any.
What age group is kid fight?
These will be 14 years old.
14.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he won't be able to. And
so is 18 still a kid?
I consider 18 a kid.
So that's when 19 is when you become in your fighting game.
Sometimes
He calls me his kid. So
that one's 23.
yeah.
So no, yeah. So I mean, we let kids fight from 10 up in kickboxing, So, but when they're that age, we try to get them at least 1 to 2 years apart. So we don't want like an 8 or a
3-year difference,
right? So that's just too much. 3 years as a child can make a huge difference in strength, power, stamina, speed. But these were two 14-year-old kids. Unfortunately, one did get hurt, and we lost that fight. But we're still, I think, at 18 fights.
18's a solid number.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So it's most I've had. I think it's the most I've ever had.
You seeing good numbers for show out people?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of awesome fighters out there really pushing the fight, selling tickets. One's next to me. He's been really pushing the fight out there, and we've got one other one that is young Burmese guy that is just like, I guess that whole community knows each other because they, the Burmese said one thing and then everybody's like buying tickets from him. So
Stephen, I remember our last show, you was all intrigued with Joe's bling watch.
Mm-hmm.
That watch you're wearing there, that's some serious bling.
Yeah, I had to give me one. I had to take some of his swag from
I was gonna say I remember that. He was like, dang, look at that.
Yep, had to give me one.
So Miguel, you didn't get to come last time. What part with your dad do you do?
So he runs.
What part do I do? Because he does everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just basically tell him what to do and it's done. So I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, so he runs Sudn Impact Gym, founded it and still owns it. I'm the manager now, but I'm essentially just, a little helper. I do a little bit of everything that he does. So
you do all the social and everything?
Yeah. So
tell the people where you can get to.
Yeah, so if you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, it's Sudn Impact Gym. TikTok is also Sudn Impact Gym.
And you got to know that it's spelled SUDN.
Yeah,
so there's only one D.
SUDNIMPACTGYM. So we post on there about our events and things that's going on. If you want to see more like our classes, things going on in the gym day to day, our trainers post a lot of that stuff. One of our
through
trainers,
you or through themselves?
Through themselves.
Okay.
They're attached to our account, so we post their stuff as well. So you'll see their stuff on our social media as well. But we have Ashley Rickard. She's been with us for many years. She posts
15 years. 15 or 16 years.
Yeah.
Did you say Rickard or Rickard?
Rickard
with a D.
With a D.
Oh.
And then one guy, Dylan Gloy. He's he's not our newest coach, but he's our newest MMA coach, and he does a whole lot around the gym, and he's always posting. He actually did some interviews with some of our fighters. So if you go on our or our social media or his, you can see some interviews with fighters talking about their fights, who they're fighting, how they've prepped for their fights. And it's crazy because we have so many people. A lot, like some fighters have to go up in weight, some have to go down in weight. So it's like the whole Midwest, people are coming from all over the place. So, this is our biggest show for sure.
Well, I know Spiece is really happy to have you. Now you're going to have it down in the pit area, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's where we're going to have it. So we'll have bring the boxing ring in there. We got a bunch of tables.
Do you rent that or do you own that?
The boxing ring?
Yeah.
I own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about, for wrestling.
Yeah, most promoters rent their equipment, but I'm just one of those guys that I just prefer own it.
Yeah.
And just use it. And then sell it, make money off of that, and then buy a new one.
So being down in the pit, you're going to have the ring in the center?
Yes.
Is that what you guys are doing?
Mm-hmm.
Then have seating around?
Yep. We'll have seating around with the tables, and then we'll have some bleachers and chairs towards the back, and we will have alcohol.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
So people want to come drink, have fun. It's a good time. Why watch it from home when you can come watch it live?
Right.
More exciting live.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Miguel, will you be fighting?
Not this time around. Everybody keeps asking me that. I mean, I do Taekwondo.
I just assume it's in the blood.
Infrequently. I mean, that's the thing. I definitely have to train more. It's like I wasn't thinking about it, but now so many people have asked me. I'm like, if I can get somebody else to do the live stream, because I'm gonna manage the live
stream.
stream.
You got a big job.
He does a lot for the fight.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to find a whole lot of
You have to have another crew.
Right. To find just to replace me so I can fight. But
Steven, you are fighting, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no one backed out on you.
Nope.
Not yet.
So feeling good?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
See,
ready.
they don't know because they figure you got prosthetic. I'm not gonna back out of this one. I got this in the bag. They don't know.
Well, after the first show, Joe was pretty emotional with you on the when he was talking to you. It's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blast. I'm ready to go. I'm getting into that mentality now where for the last week I've kind of become the
tired of training, ready to go.
Yep. So I came to kick ass, chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
There you go.
So plan.
Is there any women in this?
Unfortunately, no. We had two that were trying to match up, but we just couldn't find a matchup. Females are so hard to find a matchup. First of all, there's not a whole lot of them. Then to find somebody who's the same weight and has a similar record is just hard. And then beyond that, okay, so you found two. Are they gonna take the fight? Are they available? Are they free to do that day? So out of 9 fights that I've had, we've always tried to book females, but I think I've only had like 3 females fight.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you're trying to reach the whole Midwest.
Oh yeah. And we've actually brought people in from like a little bit further from the Midwest. I mean, I've brought people from Pittsburgh in the past.
Really?
Oh yeah. So we do reach out to people, and my goal is to get this show big enough to where we can reach people outside of the Midwest frequently. You know? So that is my goal at this point, is to really grow this show, because we're really refining and changed a lot of things for this show and the way we're doing things. And
name them. Like what?
So the way we're finding fighters, the way we're reaching out to schools and everything like that, we're trying to have it more streamlined. Miguel's working on a database to make sure that the promoters that we work with, because we work with multiple promoters, there's actually promoters in the Indiana area, and that they do their own promotion, in which we all help each other out. So it's not about competition here, it's about helping each other out. So whenever they have a fight, I go to their fights or
promote, help each other out.
Right. Like the last fight that we had, Tiger Banks had a fight down, like it was towards Cincinnati, but it was still in Indiana. And my son went down there and he helped him set up. He did what else? Like he did a whole, I mean,
so I went down there, I helped him set up, I helped him do his ticket sales because he didn't have credit card set up. I helped him do his social media. I made him a poster. It's like there's a whole lot of things that go into planning an event like this. And the thing is that so in the state of Indiana, at least, kickboxing does not have like a structured body. There's no definitive like place to go for promoters or gym owners to put on a fight.
As you go.
And that's why there's a lot more wrestling meetups. There's a lot more karate meetups. There's a lot more boxing meetups because there are official bodies in the state.
Sanctioned bodies.
Right.
Right.
So we're trying to get everybody's head together and, just think tank, figure something out where it's a lot easier to put on more shows because there's not a lot.
So working with each other, because we have the knowledge, all these people have knowledge of how to put these shows together to come together one show. So tomorrow I'll have at least four promoters. Yeah. So I'll at least have four promoters that are actually come to my show that have their own promotion to come help me with the show.
And
we do the same thing with them, you know? So they come.
Like Miguel said, you guys trying to build this up where you become a sanctioned.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we could do that, if we can all help each other out, get along, grow this, there should be no reason why we don't have I don't want to say big names, but those big names of promotions that are out there where we can be just as big, if not bigger.
Yes. So when a Saturday night comes, how many Fort Wayne guys will there be?
So right now we have at least 6 Fort Wayne guys that I know of. I can count them real quick. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4.
By the way, hey Sonar, did you put that picture up I sent you?
6. Yeah, at least 6 Fort Wayne. No, 7 because Ezra's not in here for some reason. So 7 Fort Wayne fighters that I know of.
Good
so far.
So they're having 7 guys can help you on the draw of the crowd.
Oh yeah. So those are the
they're
ones
gonna
that
reach out. There's 7 becomes
right. So those are the guys that and normally the more local fighters that you have, the more of a crowd you're gonna have. So the fighters that aren't local may draw in a crowd, but your local fighters are gonna draw in more of the crowd. Obviously, people around here and they want to see them. So
good.
And one thing we're doing a little differently this time, and one of the biggest things that I've been doing is beefing up our live stream. So in the past, we've tried different things. We've had some experience, and pretty much every single time has been kind of I would say a failure, but it didn't pan out exactly how we wanted it. This time, we figured it out. And we have all of that stuff's right on our website. The gym's website.
Say you need to get with Sonar. That's his business.
Yeah. And it's all right there. It's one place. It's super easy. I know some people in the past there's been some confusion because we kind of just didn't know what we were doing. We figured it out, and this time around it's going to be bigger, better. It's going to be way more entertaining. And I think that we're going to have a lot more people on there as well.
Good. Well, I know Spiece is really happy to get this thing going. It really helps out getting people in here. How'd that come about? How'd you get here?
Spiece, well, I've known people at Spiece for a long time, and there was a gentleman that was working here that just hit me up that said, hey, why don't you have a show out there? And I said, well, I've tried to have shows there. I've tried to do some stuff with Spiece, and it didn't seem like they were interested. And then he hooked me up with one of my buddies that I've known for many, many years. And I said, I didn't know you worked there. So that's basically how we kind of just figured out, well, let's try it. Let's see what it's going to be like. So
I think where they're going to have it in that pit area and the way you guys are going to set it up, it's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you'll have overflow that can just look in.
Right.
It's going to be like the Kumite.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and we're looking to grow bigger and better. So
get the big
fire.
Yeah. Parade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wrap your hands in.
Do you guys have big walk-ins?
It will be. So they'll be walking in, getting up on the stage, doing their pose, and they go into the ring. And the announcer does like a good announcing of both fighters and stuff like that. So we get the crowd kind of riled up and excited about it. So
Music, all.
oh yeah, so each fighter picks their own.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like baseball. They have their own walk-up song.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. So
Now, are you in charge of that, Miguel?
No, we-
we'll have a dedicated DJ.
So you will have a DJ there.
Yeah,
he does all my shows.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think there's only one show or maybe 2 shows he didn't do because he wasn't available, but he does all my shows.
Yeah. hmm
So
We got how many people we got working the show?
I think I counted like almost 40.
40 people.
Yep.
To put the show on.
It's a lot of moving parts, and especially
there's-
because we wanted to do so much with this one. So
40 people.
That's just people. That's just people working the show.
Yeah.
Then you have 18 fights, so you have 38 or what is that? 36 fighters. If we have that 19th fight, we'll have 39 fighters, and then those fighters have their cornermen. So, unless it's a team, individuals will have 2 cornermen. So I mean, there's a lot of people just to put the show on.
Yep.
So
and we're gonna have our store. We're gonna be selling like our apparel and different items that maybe the boxer or kickboxers might need. We're also going to be having like our live stream casters on the mic.
we'll have 3
DJs, photographers.
We have the doctor, the 2 nurses, your ringside, you have your timekeeper and your announcer, your judges, so there's a huge crew.
Highly professional setup.
Oh yeah, it's a big crew, and
I mean,
you gotta know
times.
Got to know all the people and got to have all the hookups.
And all of our people are really, really cool. Yeah. So big shout out to them.
Yeah.
You can't put on a show like this without.
Oh no, it's not something that's anybody can
Can't
put
make
together.
Miguel do everything.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now you say that.
Now, Stephen, how much help do you give it to the production?
As far as
Getting ready for the production of the show.
well, so one of my favorite things to do is go with these guys to go out and try to promote it and get people in and put up flyers and let people know.
We get to go out and get some drinks.
Right. and they don't call me wild boy for no reason. I am a bit wild when I go out and have fun. So, that's I get to help out and have fun doing it. And then, I usually help out with setup and things like that. And
Even his son's going to come out and help with cleanup and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So you'll be setting up tomorrow.
Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be setting it all up.
Get it all ready.
Tomorrow morning, we'll be at the gym tearing everything down, putting everything in the trailers, getting everything, making sure that we have everything. Then in the afternoon, we'll come over here, start setting it all up. So I mean, it's a 3 for us. It's just the production is about a 2-month period. The actual setup and everything is a 3-day period because you tear everything down one day, you set it up, you have the show,
Then you got to
you
tear
have
it
to
all
tear
down.
it back down, take it back to the gym, and then it may take if we bust our butts, we might be able to get it done within a day. If not, it'll take us a couple of days to get everything back together. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys got to come back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a big show. Your fighters are all ready. Hope you get that next 2 extra fights.
Yep.
So, anything else you want to add? Especially you, Miguel.
I guess for me, since it's my job, check out the live stream. If you're not going to be available, or maybe you're just too far away, come check out the live stream. It's on the QR code. It's also directly on our website, sudnimpactgym.com. Social media.
Yep.
Anywhere you can find access to the tickets for the show itself, you can find the pay-per-view live stream.
And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors too. Complete Health and Evolve Spa, SRT, Nowak, and Bull Rush. Like all these companies that help. Because this show and just to be perfectly honest with you, this show, it takes a lot of people, but it also takes a lot of money to put together. And without those sponsors, it would really be devastating to be able to even put these things together.
Yeah, you guys do all the time and effort to get ready for these. You got to have help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And each one of those companies has been a big player in our, playbook. So check them out, please.
All right. Well, Sonar, take us out if you would. Well, we already did rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll steal this microphone from you. Thank you, everybody, for being on with us. I'll be on one. There I am, right there. Hey, I'd also like to thank Denise out there for helping, Charlene as well.
Thanks,
Dave,
Denise.
the Mayor Rickard. We've got the Sudn Impact guys here. Make sure you're here Saturday, and like you said, stream it as well. We'll have the link down at the bottom or in the chat as well. I'd like to always thank Spiece Fieldhouse for having us here. Don't forget, you can go to SpieceFitness.com to find out about what you guys are doing this weekend, what pickleball is coming up. We want to thank Abby and Matt for being here with us. Obviously, we want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow anywhere at the 260. And
Actually, Abby and David know each other.
Yeah.
there you
go. She came to my gym a couple of times and talked to us about some sponsorship and stuff like that for stuff. So yeah,
that's it. Everybody in the 260 is
Everybody knows
connected
everybody.
somewhere. That's
right.
it. That's it.
Not
So
too big, not too small.
for me, Dennis Sonar Green, Dave Rickard to be the host with me as well. You, me, us, and them. We are the 260.
And Joe, stay out of the water.
Yeah.